I recently received a very interesting question from one of my viewers who was concerned that his female partner couldn't orgasm when they were together. She could orgasm alone or even when they were having phone sex together, but never when they were actually in bed together. And because I find this topic extremely interesting and even fascinating, I'm going to share with you today exactly what I told him. My name is Helena Nista and I am your favorite sexologist online, and this is the place where I answer all of your questions about sex. So the reason I do find this topic really interesting is that I feel like it concerns not just this particular couple, but actually it is a lot more common as an issue, as a problem, but most men might just not be aware of it if they're not having phone sex with their partner. So because of the distance, I'm assuming, this particular couple needs to communicate over the phone, and even they have sex over the phone, which is amazing, you know, kudos to them. And because they are having this long distance intercourse, they're obviously talking about their sexual experiences together, and because that conversation is there and they are sharing experiences and sensations and obviously orgasms as well, or they are sharing about their own orgasms over the phone, because of that this particular gentleman knows that his partner can orgasm when she's touching herself, whether she's alone or whether they are talking on the phone while she's touching herself. The reason why this is so fascinating is that most men don't realize, most men who struggle to make their female partner orgasm, they don't realize that the very same woman can probably very easily make herself come, or that she can touch herself in ways that will bring her to that orgasm. So let's have a chat about that. What's actually going on here? Why the same woman would struggle to orgasm with a man, yet when she's alone or even talking to him on the phone, she can easily get herself there. And a big part of this conversation, something that you really need to be aware of, is that huge majority of women can make themselves come within a few minutes. And we can do that simply because we know where to touch ourselves and how to touch ourselves in order to trigger that climactic orgasmic response. So it very much has got to do with technique. Technique is obviously not the entire story, but it is a big part of this story. For a huge majority of women, stroking their clitoris in a way that gives them pleasure and turns them on and creates arousal and lubrication and pleasurable stimulation for them, that's their most reliable and most fun or pleasurable path to orgasm. So whether she's just using her fingers, whether she is using a dildo that she can put inside of herself or any other toy that she can put inside of herself, whether she's also using a vibrator, there are these different things that she can do very reliably that will bring her to that orgasm. But very sadly, most couples don't take into account what she knows about her body and the techniques and strokes and the intensity, etc., that she applies to her own body. Instead, there is this very widespread idea and notion that she needs to orgasm from him penetrating her, so from his penis being inside of her vagina and moving rhythmically during intercourse. But for about 80% of women, that's just not gonna work. That's just not gonna get her to a climax. Yes, there are women who can come from penetration, even from penetration alone. Many women can come from the combination of penetration and clitoral stimulation, but huge majority of women will require clitoral stimulation, dedicated clitoral stimulation, performed in a very particular way that works for her body. So this viewer who was asking me this question, I could see that he was really trying, like he really wanted to make his woman climax. So he was asking me, should I try this? Should I try that? Should I try this technique, this kind of practice, or this kind of thing that I've heard or found online or heard of online, etc. And my answer was very simply, don't. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Like, there's no need for that. Instead, get curious. What is it exactly that she is doing when she's touching herself? What is it exactly that she's doing when she's stimulating herself when you're on the phone together? There must be particular things that she's doing to bring herself to climax. And no, it's not just your voice alone getting her there, even though you might probably want to think that, and that would be an amazing skill. But what's actually making her climax are her fingers or sex toys that she's using, or any other accessories that she's using. And that's the technique you need to follow. Don't come up with some kind of new idea. I mean, it might work, but most likely won't. And just learn from her. What is it that works for her? And once she told you about her technique, or even better, once she's shown you what she's doing, how she's touching herself, then you can do that thing to her. And you can either just touch her in that exact way that she's shown you, or you can incorporate that touch or that stimulation during penetration while you're inside of her, obviously, if that will work for her. For some women, it just won't work. You won't be able to do both, be inside of her and have intercourse with her, while also applying the technique that works for her. And in such cases, you'll just need to dedicate your time outside of intercourse, to giving her the kind of touch that she needs and desires. And no, that doesn't make intercourse and penetration redundant, not at all. This is still a very pleasurable, fun, passionate, amazing sensual experience that you can share together. And also, on top of that, you can bring her to an orgasm using the technique that she showed you. And so this way, your lovemaking can become this kind of combination of different experiences. A bit of kissing, a bit of caressing each other, a bit of manual play, a bit of oral play, a bit of intercourse, a bit of technique that she showed you that will bring her to climax, so that you can keep co-creating this kind of experience that works for both of you, and where also there's that dedicated portion of time to her orgasm, which might not include intercourse in that particular moment. So please don't get too hung up on the idea that you have to make her come with your penis, that you have to make her orgasm during penetration. For majority of women, that just doesn't work. And if you keep trying, you're just going to condemn both of you to a lot of sexual frustration. While the other option is having blissful, fun, satisfying, orgasmic experiences together. I really hope that this makes sense, and if you have any other questions about this topic or about any other topic you would like me to address in my future videos, make sure to pop your questions in the comments section below. And if you'd like to learn how to make your woman really, really wet, make sure to watch this video next.